Now, which of the following propositions are logically equivalent? No women are arrogant human beings. No arrogant human beings are women. All women are non-arrogant human beings. And all non-arrogant human beings are non-women. So equivalent. Let's see. No women. This and this. These are two equivalent statements. All women are non-arrogant human beings. All women are non-arrogant human beings. All women are non-arrogant human beings. This is equivalent, I believe, because this is equivalent to this. And all non-arrogant human beings, I think A, B, and C. Yeah. Cool. Proposition C states that all women are non-arrogant human beings, which is equivalent to proposition A by using the conversion rule mentioned above. By converting the negative statement, proposition B states that no arrogant human beings are women, which can be rephrased as all non-women are non-arrogant human beings, by converting the negative statement to an equivalent positive statement and reversing the subject and predicate. And proposition A states that no women are arrogant human beings, which can be rephrased as all women are non-arrogant human beings, by converting the negative statement to an equivalent positive statement. Now, a logical argument is a process of creating a new statement from the existing statement. It comes to a conclusion from a set of premises by means of logical implications via logical inference. Now, if the statement "some cricketers are not bowlers" is given as false, then what can be immediately inferred to be false? So, some cricketers are not bowlers. Some A are not B. This is false. So if this is false, then this makes this contradictory statement, which is A, to be true, which means that all A are B. All A are B. Okay, so and that is now true, right? And okay, so yes, if this is false, this makes this statement to be false. So all A are not B. That is the answer of this question. So all cricketers are not bowlers, or no cricketers are bowlers. Right? Now, which of the following statements are so related that they cannot both be false, although they may both be true? So, in order for they can be true, but they cannot be false. So it's this: some are and some are not. So A and C only. Some women are multitaskers and some women are not multitaskers. Cool. Now, according to the classical Indian school of logic, Nyaya, which among the following steps of inference involves synthesis of major term, that is the sadhya, middle term, hetu, and the minor term, paksh? Heraclitus is a man who is invariably a mortal. According to the classical Indian school of logic, the process of inference involves 5 steps, which are called avyav. I don't know. That's what is written here. Heraclitus is a man who is invariably a mortal. Pratigya, proposition or thesis. This is the proposition that needs to be proved, which in this case is the statement Heraclitus is mortal. Hetu, reason. This is the reason or the middle term that links the major term sadhya and the minor term paksh and establishes the relationship between them. In this part, the middle term is man, which links the major term mortal and the minor term Heraclitus. Major term mortal, minor term, I don't know, middle term is man. So man is the middle term, and as can be understood, Heraclitus is a man and man is mortal. So this is why this is the middle term. Heraclitus being the first thing to be attached to this middle term becomes the minor term. So so in this part, the middle term is man, which links the major term mortal and the minor term Heraclitus. Udharan, example or illustration. Udaharan. This involves providing an example that illustrates the relationship between the middle term and the major term. In section, the example is Parmanidis, which illustrates that whoever is a man is a mortal. Right? And Nigaman, conclusion or synthesis. This step involves synthesizing the major term, the middle term, and the minor term to arrive at a conclusion. In this part, the conclusion is Heraclitus is a man who is invariably a mortal, which synthesizes the major term mortal and the minor middle term man and the minor term Heraclitus. Samhar, a recapitulation or summary. This step involves summarizing the inference that has been made. In this case, the summary would be that Heraclitus is mortal because he is a man who is invariably mortal. Therefore, Heraclitus is a man who is invariably mortal is the correct answer. Samhar, recapitulation or summary. It involves all the 5 steps, including the synthesis of the middle and minor term. Now, in ICT, which one of the following pair of acronyms and its expansion are incompatible? .rar, readable archive. Incompatible, that is incorrect. So GIF, graphics interchange format. CSS, cascading style sheet. And JPEG, Joint Photographic Experts Group. CSS stands for cascading style sheet. .rar means Rochelle archive. The term Rochelle refers to the name of the person who created the compression algorithm used in the format Rochelle archive. Therefore, the expansion readable archive given in the option 3 is incorrect. GIF graphics interchange format cascading style sheet. This is a style sheet language used for describing the presentation of a document written in markup language. The acronym CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet, which accurately describes the function of the language to define the style of or presentation of a web page or document. GIF stands for Graphic Interchange Format, which accurately describes the purpose of the format to exchange graphic images. Now JPEG. It refers to JPEG, joint photographic expert group, refers to the group that created compression algorithm used. Okay. Now, identify the correct order of the following terms A to D to complete the sentences given below. The action of sending emails to fraudulently obtain another person's bank details is called phishing. The action of illegally installing malicious code which redirects a person to a fraudulent website with the purpose of obtaining that person's bank details is called pharming. So this means pharming. And then unsolicited bulk emails are called spam. And the action of sending text messages to fraudulently obtain another person's bank details is called sending text messages to fraudulently obtain bank details. That is smishing. The code of sending email to fraudulently obtain another person's bank details is called phishing. The action of illegally installing malicious code which redirects a person to a fraudulent website with the purpose of obtaining that person's bank details is called pharming. Unsolicited bulk emails are called spam, and the action of sending text messages to fraudulently obtain another person's bank details is called smishing. All right. Now, pharming attacks involve redirecting a user to fraudulent website by altering the domain name system entries on the user's computer or network. The attacker can then collect sensitive information such as login credentials or credit card numbers. Smishing attacks involve sending fraudulent text messages to the user's mobile phone, again posing as a legitimate source such as bank or a mobile service provider. The message often contains a link to a fake website and the user is asked to enter their sensitive information. Smishing attacks involve sending fraudulent text messages to the user's mobile phone, again posing as a legitimate source such as a bank or a mobile service provider. Okay, now which of the following file types are containers which can hold number of files with different types? So that's RAR and zip. RAR files are archive file formats that can hold multiple files of different types in a compressed form. They are commonly used for file compression, archiving, and distribution processes. .zip. Zip files are also archive file formats that can hold multiple files of different type in a compressed form, commonly used for file compression, archiving, and distribution processes. .mp4 files can contain different types of media files. They are primarily designed to hold video and audio data. .mp3 audio format and can only hold audio data. Now, biometrics, OCR, OMR, and RFID. Reading data directly from hard copy and converting into computer readable form. Use of fingerprint scans, retina scans, face identification as a way of identifying person uniquely. That's biometrics. The use of minute electronic devices containing microchip and antenna that can be read from distances up to 5 meters. And a system that reads pencil or pen marks on a piece of paper in predetermined positions. So that's OCR. Okay, let's look at OCR and biometrics is done, right? Use of fingerprint scans, retina scans, face identification as a way of identifying a person uniquely. Biometrics, you see this? And OCR, reading data directly from hard copy and converting into computer readable form. Method involves scanning printed or handwritten text and converting it into a digital format that can be read and edited by a computer. So OCR, system that reads pencil or pen marks on a piece of paper. And the OMR is optical mark recognition, system that reads pencil or pen marks on a piece of paper in predetermined positions. Okay, so that's the optical mark recognition. And RFID, the radio frequency identification. Use of minute electronic devices containing microchip and antenna that can be read from distances up to 5 meters. This method involves the use of small electronic devices containing a microchip and antenna that can be read by a specialized reader. It is commonly used for inventory management, tracking shipments, or access control. Now, since pre-industrial times, carbon dioxide has contributed maximum to the global warming. Correct? And carbon dioxide has the highest global warming potential. That is also correct. But this is not the reason why this happened. To say that carbon dioxide has highest global warming potential, and that is the reason why, since pre-industrial times, carbon dioxide has contributed maximum to the global warming. They both do not cohere with each other. You understand what I'm saying? Since pre-industrial times, the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere has increased from about 280 parts per million ppm to over 400 ppm. This increase is primarily due to human activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and land use changes. The increasing concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere traps more heat from the sun, leading to rising temperatures on the Earth's surface and other adverse effects such as ocean acidification. And the reason states that carbon dioxide has the highest global warming potential. Global warming potential is a measure of how much a particular greenhouse gas can contribute to global warming over a given time frame compared to carbon dioxide. While carbon dioxide is not the gas with the highest GWP, that distinction goes to gases like methane and certain fluorinated gases. It is the most abundant and long-lasting greenhouse gas, which means it has had the largest cumulative impact on global warming since pre-industrial times. Now, I'm way far. Dioxins and other chlorinated hydrocarbons have been shown to accumulate to dangerous levels in fish and fish eating birds. That's correct. Dioxin and hydrocarbons, chlorinated hydrocarbons, accumulate to dangerous levels in fishes and fish eating birds. And dioxins are highly toxic. Even exposure to its extremely low concentration can cause birth defects, genetic disorder, and cancer. That is also correct. Dioxin and other chlorinated hydrocarbons are highly persistent and can remain in the environment for a long time. These chemicals have been shown to accumulate in the food chain, especially in fish and fish eating birds. This is because these animals consume contaminated prey, which leads to the accumulation of these chemicals in their tissues. This can lead to dangerous levels of dioxins and chlorinated hydrocarbons in the bodies of these animals, which can have harmful effects on their health. For example, exposure to higher level of dioxins has been linked to cancer, developmental and reproductive problems, and immune system damage in the animals and humans. Therefore, it is important to monitor the level of these chemicals in the environment and take steps to reduce their release into the ecosystem. Now, dioxins are highly toxic. Even exposure to its low concentration can cause birth defects, genetic disorder, and cancer. Dioxins are highly toxic, and exposure to even low levels of dioxins over a long period of time can cause serious health effects in humans and animals, including birth defects, genetic disorders, and cancer. Dioxins are persistent organic pollutants, POPs, that do not break down easily in the environment and can accumulate in the food chain, particularly in fatty tissue animals, including fish and fish eating animals or birds. Therefore, it is important to monitor and control the release of dioxins and other chlorinated hydrocarbons into the environment to minimize their harmful effect on living organisms. Now, first statement: in a breeder reactor, more fissile material is produced than it is consumed. That's correct. The second: in breeder reactor, breeding works best with slow neutrons, and hence moderators are required. That is false. So, a breeder reactor is a type of nuclear reactor in which more fissile material is produced than consumed. This is achieved by using fertile materials such as uranium-238 as fuel and converting it into fissile materials such as plutonium-239. So uranium-238 is converted into plutonium-239. The process of converting fertile material into fissile material is known as breeding, and hence the reactor is called a breeder reactor. The excess of fissile material produced can be used as fuel in other nuclear reactors or in the production of nuclear weapons. So the first statement is correct. The second: in a breeder reactor, breeding works best with slow neutrons, and hence moderators are required. In a breeder reactor, the second statement is not correct. In a breeder reactor, breeding works best with slow neutrons, which have a higher probability of being captured by the fertile material and converted to fissile material. In a breeder reactor, breeding actually works best with fast neutrons, not slow ones. Therefore, moderators which slow down neutrons are generally not used in breeder reactors. Instead, breeder reactors often use a fast neutron spectrum to facilitate the conversion, that is, the breeding of fertile material into fissile material. Now, assertion: acidity in water with pH level above 5 has detrimental effect on aquatic life. That is not correct. And water with pH value between 5 to 7 is of acidic nature. That's correct. So, in general, water with a pH level above 5 is considered to be relatively safe for aquatic life. pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, with a pH of 7 considered neutral. Values below 7 indicate acidity, while values above 7 indicate alkalinity. Aquatic organisms have varying tolerances to pH levels depending on the species and their natural habitat. However, the most freshwater aquatic lake can tolerate a pH range of 6 to 9. So, and the reason water with pH value between 5 to 7, 5 to less than 7 is of acidic nature. Well, that's not correct. Water with a pH value between 5 to 7 is of acidic nature. No. Also true, because of a pH of 7 is considered neutral, and any value below 7 is considered acidic. Okay, so 5 to 7 is acidic in nature. A pH of 7 is moderately acidic and can have a detrimental effect on aquatic life, as stated in assertion. The full form of PAN, a type of air pollutant, is peroxyacetyl nitrate. Peroxyacetyl nitrate. Which is a type of air pollutant. So, peroxyacetyl nitrate is an air pollutant formed through a complex chain of reactions between volatile organic compounds WOX and nitrogen oxides NOx and sunlight. PAN is not directly emitted into the atmosphere but is formed through the photochemical reactions of WOX and NOx in the presence of sunlight. PAN is a highly reactive compound that can cause serious health and environmental problems. It is a major component of smog, which is a type of air pollution that can cause respiratory problems, eye irritation, and other health issues. PAN can also have harmful effects on vegetation and crops, leading to reduced yield and damage to the ecosystem. One of the most significant sources of WOX and NOx that contribute to the formation of PAN is automobile exhaust. Industrial processes such as oil and gas production, chemical manufacturing, and printing also emit large amounts of WOX and NOx. Agricultural practices such as the use of fertilizers and pesticides also contribute to the formation of the peroxyacetyl nitrate, the PAN. To control the formation of PAN, it is essential to reduce the emission of WOX and NOx from various sources. This can be done through the use of cleaner fuels, advanced emission control technologies, the use of catalytic converters in automobiles, which convert harmful emissions into less harmful ones,